All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope your day is going well wherever you are in the world. I'm real excited to get this space started and really dive deep into ETH integration. There's been a lot of new developments, and so a lot of things to get excited about. We have Jan Camenisch from Dfinity, CTO of Dfinity. We also have Lomesh Dutta from Dfinity as VP of Growth, and Manu Drijvers, Director of Engineering. We're also going to be joined with Max from Bitfinity Network. I was thinking about this morning, and ETH integration is really part of a bigger story around the internet computer. Going back to like this idea of a world computer, a multi-coin world. Can we start there about like what is the vision for the internet computer that ETH integration kind of plays a part within that?
It started out with thinking, okay, what if you could have like ECDSA public keys? Like if a smart contract, the canister can have ECDSA public keys or any public key and can sign with it. You know, like how powerful is that? And quickly realize, well, like it can hold Bitcoin, it can hold ETH, it can hold like any crypto asset really out there, right? NFTs and whatnot. But really, the vision is like on like smart contract on the intercomputer could interact with any other chains, could own, manage, transfer assets from any chain to any other chain, like a true multi-chain chain world here.
Yeah, so really leveraging that ability to communicate across chain, to leverage some of the benefits. You know, that's one of the great things about crypto is that we as an industry have approached it very broadly with a lot of different shots on goal to see what works, and so almost being able to unite all those. How does it, in terms of the idea of like the world computer, you know, because it strikes me that the fact that the internet computer, that you can actually host an entire application on chain. What does that do for like the trust assumptions built within the apps built either on the internet computer, and how they can then also leverage the trust assumptions for Ethereum and for Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think that is a very good question. The assumption is, well, I mean, if you really know who runs your nodes, if the node providers are identified, you know that you could go after them. If they misbehave, you're in a much different setting and actually can have like a much lower replication factors than other networks. There's also a power of in principle, if you do something like Bitcoin, where everybody on the world can run a Bitcoin miner, just can download the code and thereby contributing. You can interact with like any other system out there and just use whatever you like, whatever you think is better for your security assumptions, models, and so on and so forth. Just pick what you like best.
I love that. Pick your medicine, almost like a free market approach of what's going to work best for you. If you're a developer, you should have a tool belt of options, and you pick the tool that works best for your specific need. So if we go deeper into ETH integration, this idea of a phased integration, and I'm kind of interested in diving into that, particularly like, well, I guess go over what phase one and phase two are. And then what was the rationale for doing it in that order versus, I know with BTC integration, we did it in the reverse order. And so I'd be interested in that.
I think what we're trying to enable is communication, like your smart contract on the internet computer should just be able to talk to Ethereum and interact with these tokens there. And as you point out, Kyle, we're having like a staged approach in some sense. For this Bitcoin integration that we did in the past, the internet computer already supports this threshold ECDSA signatures. So this is already there, meaning that your smart contract on the internet computer can securely sign messages with its own public key that now Ethereum or Bitcoin understands. So this allows you to hold assets. The other side of the problem is, how do you actually communicate with the other blockchain? Like, how do you read its state? For Bitcoin, we immediately went with this native integration, meaning the nodes that power the internet computer directly communicate with the Bitcoin nodes, and they obtain the state. And for Ethereum, we did things a little bit differently. And the reason why we do that is Ethereum has a very standardized interface. Like all Ethereum nodes have this Ethereum RPC interface. To have something to allow developers to get started quicker in building dApps on the IC that maybe also collaborate with some part on Ethereum, we did this phase one integration, which recommends use HTTP out calls and threshold ECDSA signatures to already have this collaboration between the different chains. So this is what is happening now, and you can do this today. And I guess we'll talk about some examples that are already underway. Later, we're planning to do some more native integration that you don't have any reliance on on these RPC providers, as they're called, tell you the information about the Ethereum blockchain state, but that the internet computer already knows this internally.
Yeah, so it really comes down to, I guess, getting a product out there, getting the ability to start building, and then we can go deeper into the integration from there. You mentioned that products that are already being built using the Ethereum integration. Let's dive into that. Lomesh, we had lost you for a second. Do we still have you?
Hey, yes, I'm here. Yeah, so I think there are two parallel tracks on where things are essentially going on with respect to the developer activity on how everybody's trying to build. One of them, which I'm sure like the Bitfinity team would cover, which basically means that there's going to be an EVM on IC soon, which will enable developers who could build in Solidity, and they can essentially build like the entire DeFi stack and so on IC. So I would let the Bitfinity team speak more about that. But I think if you think about like what's happening with the Ethereum integration on IC, let's think about the design space first, right? So this is basically the first time where you can say that Ethereum, Bitcoin, ICP, basically all the stable coins, ERC20 assets, they can all be in a same single smart contract, which does not have any intermediary, any trusted party in between. So if you think about how powerful can that be, basically you have an ability to interoperate seamlessly between any of Ethereum assets, ICP, of course, quite a few interesting things. So one is, of course, like the DeFi, which is chain, as people are trying to interoperate between different assets. So you can imagine things like um, stable coins which are backed by Ethereum, Bitcoin, and ICP as a collateral, and a varying mixture of that. We are obviously looking at all of these cross-chain, like decentralized exchanges, lending protocols. So that's being developed. Another dimension which people are exploring is this multi-chain, like DAO governance. Now, as several projects are launching on various chains, they are running into this like, okay, the treasury is like, they're unclear where the treasury is. Is it on one chain? How would the governance span across all these different chains? So, projects are exploring how do they orchestrate all of that using internet computer as the layer, which can essentially help using the threshold ECDSA help essentially connect all of this governance systems in one single unified interface. We have projects who are building cross-chain oracles, like basically using ICP as like HTTP out calls as well as threshold ECDSA to essentially connect various be an oracle, not just for IC dApps, but basically going at other let's say Ethereum layer 2s and other layer 1s, and basically serving as an an oracle which is powered by IC for those chains. So yeah, just to give you a flavor of a few of the things that are happening.
So I'll ask this question, and Jan and Manu and Lomesh, if you're still around. So we talked about how Ethereum is important for the internet computer because we have this world computer approach. This vision for a world computer, for a multi-coin world, for really a robust tool set for developers to build applications. Lomesh touched a little bit on why ETH integration on ICP can be important for Ethereum, right? It opens up the ability for Ethereum apps to communicate with Web2 apps through HTTPS outcalls without the need for oracles. It allows Ethereum apps to be built, the front end to be built on chain. It can, I'm assuming that it maybe can provide more efficient financial transactions through the reverse gas model that the internet computer has. Is there is what I'm saying accurate? And is there anything you would add to that list?
Well, Kyle, I think that's totally accurate, right? I mean, I think all like the word computer vision doesn't mean that the only computer on the world is the internet computer. So there's like other stuff out there, and on the Ethereum, like the larger Ethereum ecosystem, there's a lot of very interesting stuff happening, and we believe that the internet computer can play a very nice role here, can be a tool that people can use. And of course, if you want to have the internet computer as a tool, then so you can have like a front end on the internet computer, you can have a DAO on the internet computer, NFTs as governance tokens. The front end can interact easily also with Ethereum, as we just demonstrated with the Oisi wallet. Just go to oisi.com and check it out.
Yeah, thank you, Jan. You really captured just the how the internet computer can be like an innovator's playground by providing just a lot of different features for building unique apps. You mentioned one of those apps, Oisi Wallet, so oisy.com. That has, I'm not sure where we are at in terms of advertising that, but you definitely want to keep that in mind moving forward. In terms of if you've ever, because I've seen I've seen it already in action. And if you've ever muttered the phrase like crypto really needs to up its user experience, like there's no way my mom's going to ever use any of these wallets because they're just, like you said, a seed phrase, and the idea of having a cold wallet, all of that is just a bridge too far. I think Oisi is the solution that's just going to blow people's minds. So keep your eyes out for that as more information is revealed on that. Let's go into CK-ETH because that's has some news, and then we'll jump over to Bitfinity and learn from you guys. But real quickly, Manu, what is CK-ETH? You had a tweet about how ckETH is now live. Give us some background on that.
Absolutely, yeah. So with all this integration, we want that smart contracts on the internet computer can also hold Ethereum assets and work with them. But of course, building these things is always a bit harder than building on one blockchain alone, right? You need to now understand both systems. So to make it super easy to work with Ether on the internet computer, we're building this CK-ETH, which will be an internet computer native token. So it follows the ICRC standards, if that means anything to you. And this is just a token that you can move around, but one CK-ETH truly represents one ETH on Ethereum. And the way that works is that there is one canister, one smart contract on the internet computer that creates this CK-ETH when it receives native ETH on Ethereum. So it's like a translation, but it really represents one-to-one native ETH. So anybody can take their ETH, send it to some smart contract on Ethereum, and then they will receive the CK-ETH token on the internet computer in a one-to-one manner. They can transact that quickly and with low fees, as you're used to on the IC. And whoever has CK-ETH can also choose to say, okay, now actually I want to receive the underlying ETH on this Ethereum address, and then the smart contract will make that change for you. So that's what we're building. So this is very similar to the CK-BTC that you might be aware of, which is what we did for Bitcoin. And this is under development, but what we now have, a milestone that we recently reached, is that we have like a test version live. So there's an Ethereum testnet called Sepolia, and so you can have Sepolia ETH, which is like a worthless testing token, but it's a place to test Ethereum stuff. And so what we now built is like CK Sepolia ETH. So this is the test version. So anybody that has this testnet ETH token can send that to a certain smart contract and then receive CK Sepolia ETH in return. And you can send that around. And you can, if you have this CK Sepolia ETH, you can convert it back to Sepolia ETH on Ethereum Sepolia testnet. And so all these instructions are on the forum.
So if a developer wants to get more information on this, we've pinned a couple of tweets, one from you, Manu, that provides a link also to some more documentation and a forum post. So let's start testing, and then do we have a timeline for when we, or at least like a hazy flag in the ground for when CK live production quality.
Yeah, fingers crossed for this year. Maybe it'll be a Christmas gift. We'll have to see. Yeah, but so hopefully in the coming months. And the target is 2023.
If you hit 2023, that would mean we started 2023 with CK-BTC going live and ended 2023 with CK-ETH going live. And I can't imagine two bigger milestones for a crypto project. So that would be phenomenal. So credit Manu to you and your team and Jan and the entire R&D team at Dfinity. Let's move off of talking Dfinity and let's talk with some people who are building apps on the internet computer. Max, are you with us still?
Yes, I'm here, Carl.
I appreciate you joining us. Thanks for your patience getting around. Give a quick background. Actually, let me start here first. If you're listening to the space, make sure you follow the Bitfinity Twitter handle. I'd also recommend, you'll see in the pinned tweets, the Dfinity developer handle. Go ahead and follow that as well. And you're going to want to also follow Marcin as well to keep up to date on Redstone. But Max, let's jump into Bitfinity Network. What is Bitfinity and what are you guys trying to build?
Yeah, so Bitfinity is a blazingly fast next-gen EVM, which is built on the IC. It uses Rust-Reth as a crate to execute transactions on the IC and can handle hundreds of transactions per second. We're currently in testnet, but we'll shortly this year be moving to the mainnet. With Bitfinity, of course, you'll have access to what you have on the IC, CK tokens being bridged over to Bitfinity, and even Bitcoin as well, CK-BTC. So, it kind of gives you everything you have with the EVM, being able to deploy Solidity-based smart contracts, fork over, DeFi ecosystem, but also getting some of the goodness that you get on the IC and taking advantage of some of these next generation tooling like the CK tokens.
So essentially, by building an EVM, actually, let's start here in case we have non-Ethereum folks on this call. Can you start with what an EVM is and why they're all the rage in the last 2 years?
Yeah, so the EVM is the Ethereum virtual machine. It's a virtual machine, and you can run the EVM bytecode on it. So the Solidity smart contracts that you deploy get converted to bytecode and run on this virtual machine. Kind of stood the test of time in the crypto world. The majority of smart contracts are built from Solidity. If you're thinking like how does Uniswap run or Aave, they're currently built from Solidity. Although there are other flavors of smart contract language. So we have like Motoko on the IC. Rust as an execution environment, which is also pretty exciting. But the EVM lets you tap into that DeFi ecosystem by being able to port apps and then run them on a blazingly fast blockchain, such as the internet computer, running hundreds of more transactions per second than you can.
So trying to get the best of both worlds then, taking Ethereum, getting the benefits of their security model, their network effects, and then also trying to add in the ability to have cheaper transactions, faster transactions, more scalable. So Bitfinity is a blazing fast DeFi. Who do you anticipate being the users of Bitfinity? Is it going to be I assume it'll be developers and end users as a whole, or?
Yeah, I think so. Developers are the primary target. People from the Ethereum world, various Ethereum chains can deploy on Bitfinity, especially with the narrative of CK-BTC, the fact that you could, for instance, send Bitcoin to the Bitfinity wallet, have it there, and then just use it to interact with smart contract dApps, I think is a real bonus, because it's something that hasn't been seen in the crypto world. Bitcoin smart contracts without a bridge. That also holds true for the other CK tokens. There's no intermediary third party, but there's a lot of interesting things that you can take advantage of on the IC and use in conjunction with Bitfinity.
That's awesome. And so you guys are in test mode right now. Do you have kind of a rough timeline of when you might go live?
Yeah, I think at some point in November, we're targeting mid to late November, we'll be live.
Okay, so we're close.
Yeah, really close now.
Well, let me ask, and this question may not be fair, so you don't have to answer it. Is there a project being built on Bitfinity on like the test network that you're like this is what I'm really excited about, or is that not a fair question because now you're basically having to play favorites with your children?
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult to play favorites. I think I'm quite excited about ChapSwap, which is like a Uniswap like protocol on Bitfinity. I'm quite excited about lending and borrowing applications that could come, the Orally network, and others who are deploying on Bitfinity. I think really it just gives you the chance to reimagine DeFi, but in this like kind of cross chain world where you can bring in assets from any chain through the Bitfinity wallet.
Are we moving towards a world in which the concept of like the user initiating a swap between tokens becomes antiquated? As in, like let's say I have CK-BTC in my Bitfinity wallet, and I want to do an Ethereum transaction. Basically the back end of the code will handle that swap for me, and I don't have to manually go to like a liquidity pool or something like that to do it myself.
Yeah, well, I think swaps are going to be ever-present feature of DeFi. Moving tokens from one to another. Definitely, the user experience is going to be improved a whole lot. What we have with the CK-ETH and the bridgeless moving of tokens between chains, I think that really plays in well as well with some of the initiatives that are going on in the Ethereum world, like EIP 4337, which will really make the user experience of using any token on a chain maybe to run transactions.
I love that in the space is, I guess, circling this idea. So I really want to drive it home that we're moving in crypto. We're moving to a world in which the user experience is a little bit more native, a little more friendly. Like you said, Max, about the idea of like you get a ton of pop-ups and requests for access to your wallet and things like that. And as a user, you start saying, oh, what am I actually saying yes to here? And what do I need to be saying no to? It sounds like we're moving towards a world where that gets abstracted away, and from a user experience perspective, you get a much better product and experience. Let's jump to Marcin. How are you doing? You still with us?
Yeah, of course. Hey, happy to be over here.
Hey, I really appreciate you joining the space. So Marcin is the CEO of Redstone DeFi. Do you want to give us a quick background on what Redstone is and what you guys are trying to accomplish?
Of course, happy to. So I'm joining you from Warsaw, Poland. So here in Europe. As for Redstone oracles, what we do is essentially delivering various types of data feed to dApps and different blockchains. So already a term oracle has been mentioned in the discussion today. So maybe let me break it down a little bit, because oracles right now in the industry is perceived as this super huge cluster of various services that deliver data from off-chain to on-chain. As we understand the oracles that actually work right now, so for example, Redstone, Chainlink, and a couple of others, usually the subsection is a bit narrower. So essentially what we do is we deliver usually market data, usually even price feeds, to DeFi applications. At least this is the situation as of today. In the future, of course, we're going to expand the use cases for other types of data, but in my opinion, the low-level narrative is Oracle is this kind of like transport layer of data from other world to various on-chain ecosystems. And also, I'm a co-founder of ETH Warsaw, which is the biggest conference and hackathon in Central Eastern Europe happening in Warsaw, Poland. And actually, that's how I got connected to Internet Computer and Dfinity. So very happy to join over here.
We're happy to have you. I want to dive in deeper into oracles, but before I do that, let's let you. Can you guys plug ETH Warsaw a little bit? Like, when's the next conference, and how can people get more information?
Sure. So it's unfortunate that this year we didn't have a pleasure to host like ICP also as one of our guests or sponsors. The reason is we got connected like a week or two before this year edition. That was in the very beginning of September. But we are already planning the edition of 2024 that is going to happen at the very last weekend of August. So you can already put it in your calendar and start looking into Warsaw as potential place to visit. It's a really beautiful city, growing, fairly affordable, and for sure full of developers and people willing to embrace Web3 and various ecosystems.
That's great. That's great. Is there a website people can visit?
Sure. So the Twitter account is ETH Warsaw, and the website is ethwarsaw.dev, like from development. So you can already check it out over there. Information about the new edition is not present yet, so I give you a bit alpha. But yes, we are planning the next one, and it's going to be bigger. So this year we had 1,200 people, and next year we aim for 1,500.
I love it. I love it, and a clear sign of kind of the growing mindset of crypto in general and Web3. So let's dive deeper into oracles and I'm not sure if everyone listening to this, I know probably most people have heard of oracles, but let's in case they haven't, can you give just kind of a background on why we have oracles within Web3 and what their purpose is?
Sure, happy to. So first on ETH Warsaw, we hope that this additional 300 people will for sure come from internet computer ecosystem also to Warsaw next year, right? And coming to the oracles, so when the blockchains and smart contracts started to emerge back in the days, like after Bitcoin, established the ground, and then people started experimenting with autonomous execution of smart contracts, it turned out that blockchains as systems are isolated from information from real world as well as the internet, right? So you cannot kind of like Google something on a smart contract on Ethereum or other network. So you need a kind of a plugin to put data over there. Early in the days, developers tended to create like their own custom adapters. But then here's the issue. If you create a system that has a lot of value, and this system is based on smart contracts that execute upon information delivered by such a plugin, then there is a high incentive for a hacker to try to manipulate or hack the plugin itself, right? So you essentially become a security company for this plugin, which ended up very badly for many protocols over the years. Therefore, the sector of oracles like emerged. So like companies that develop specialized systems to deliver various types of data from internet on off chain and so on to applications. And the biggest use case for protocols right now are the ones that you mentioned already. So Aave, Compound, Liquidity, MakerDAO, Spark protocol, all of these rely on oracles to, at least for now, price the collateral when people take loans and basically put some money in to borrow against, right? So oracles is the single thing that gives the information about the prices of assets so that the smart contracts can analyze what's the value of underlying collateral and assets put into the smart contract.
That's great. That's great. And Redstone focuses on building those oracles.
Right. So the biggest oracle out there is called Chainlink, and majority of the, let's say, Web3 ecosystem is familiar with them. In my opinion, they've done tremendous job, like bootstrapping the ecosystem and ensuring the early, let's say, infrastructure. But as you know, the innovation cycle in Web3 is very short. So the idea they had in 2017, 18, right now, I would say, is not best fitted for multi-chain ecosystem. So with Redstone, we create an oracle that keeps data off chain as long as possible, and found a very efficient way of delivering that data in an on-demand manner. So only when it's needed, that's the moment we deliver that data to minimize the cost and ensure higher latency of that data. And we are EVM compatible by design, but not limited to EVM. So right now, I'm very happy to also participate here and hear that ICP is integrating with ETH, and I'm just going to follow the explosion of applications over there and try to serve the ones that would have some Oracle needs too.
Love it, love it. You know, we don't build a new industry siloed, so let's definitely collaborate and see how we can help each other meet each other's needs. Marcin, where is?
Sorry. I just want to just to interject, Carl. I think Sonic is also in the spaces, and one of the applications they're looking at is perps, which obviously require use oracles. So it's maybe an intro there for our esteemed guest.
Nice, happy to chat. As you said, like almost every perp protocol, like GMX, Synthetics perps, Gains network, and so on, all of them rely on Oracle. So yeah, we are happy to chat.
Love it, love it. Yeah, you see the Sonic Twitter handle just down below, so definitely recommend you to reach out and chat. I want to wrap the space up. Or actually, Marcin, let me give you a chance. Is there a place where people can follow Redstone, or is following your Twitter handle the best place to keep up to date?
Sure. So everyone who is willing to learn more about Redstone, follow me and follow also at Redstone_DeFi, or go to our website redstone.finance. So yeah.
Love it, love it. All right, let's wrap up on a. I'm going to ask you a challenging question. I'm going to ask the entire panel, and I'm interested in your answers because I'm about to make investment decisions later today. Actually, not just kidding. No financial advice, but I am interested. So we're closing out the 2023 year. We're coming. I mean, crypto is definitely at like this junction point where I feel we could be at the maybe upon the next wave of innovation and product market fit. And so I want to ask the question of what do you look forward to in 2024 the most for our industry? Marcin, can I start with you and I'll work our way backwards?
Sure. So I'm super excited about LSTs, so liquid staking tokens, and LST finance in general. We're going to publish a report on that matter in November this year to dive deeper into that, because that's where a lot of yield and innovation goes from, at least right now, like eigenlayer restaking. It's going to be a huge narrative. As for the next year, like 2024, I would say this panel is very good because interconnectivity and abstracting the cross-chain layer, in my opinion, is going to be huge, especially when the next bull market comes. So in the previous bull market, in my opinion, the users had to truly pick their ecosystem, like, and stick to that. Let's say Polkadot or IBC, ICP, and so on. In the next one, I believe it's going to be abstracted away more, and then they are going to just embrace a couple of them because they are going to be interconnected. So that would be my 2 cents.
Love it, love it. Max, 2024, what are you excited for?
Yeah, like Marcin, I'm quite excited by the account abstraction that's going on, and the idea that wallets on Ethereum become much more modular. We've seen like MetaMask, they've introduced snaps, which means you can plug and play different kind of modules from different developers. I think that's going to really help the UX in crypto. I'm also taking a look on what's happening with Bitcoin. The idea that they're also developing their own L2 ecosystem. I think that's really exciting. And I think to top it all off, what we have here on the IC with the interchain connectivity can really be a boon for the whole industry.
Yeah, it is nice that everything we talked about today applies equally as well to the Ethereum world as it does the Bitcoin world, as well as any other world that may pop up through innovation. Manu, 2024. What well, I guess first I'll ask: Are you going to actually get a break, or is your 2024 going to be as busy as 2023? And what do you look forward to in 2024?
We'll see about that break. But I'm sure it's going to be fine. No, what I'm looking forward to, I mean, there's many technical things I look forward to, but I think more broadly, I look forward to, I think now that the blockchain space is a little bit over the initial hype, I think I look forward to better UX, more real world adoption, and maybe also adoption beyond purely financial things and trading, such that at the end of the day, I think we can grow the whole impact of the blockchain space and, well, I don't know, make the pie bigger, I guess. That's what I'm hoping to see.
Love it. Definitely feels like our industry is maturing. Lomesh, if you're available, I know you've been having technical difficulties this whole time. Looks like you might be available though. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so I think I very much plus one Manu, right? So I think overall as an industry, we have been having too much talks about like this infrastructure and scaling and zero knowledge and all of that. I think it's time to for the blockchain to show that okay, you can really deliver real world use cases which are where users are actually using like applications. So the conversation, I'll be really happy if the conversation starts shifting from pure play infrastructure to real world experiences and we start having okay, what's the daily active users, what's the revenue that is a certain application is driving. So I hope we start to move in that direction. That's what I'm looking for.
Perfect. And Jan, if you're still with us, I'm interested to hear what you're excited for next year.
Yeah, I mean, crypto summer, obviously, but apart from that, we see a lot of like more, I guess, other use cases of ICP than DeFi. So I think we need to hope with crypto summer coming, the industry will also mature and have like a broader adoption of like more users. If users talk about crypto, it's not only Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, but broader adoption, more users, a happy life in general, I guess.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is our space. I recommend if you're getting excited as you hear this panel getting excited for 2024, a lot of exciting things coming out, a lot of maturity going on within our industry. Definitely give a follow to the speakers. Keep up to date on what's going on, not just with ICP integration, but also with ICP-ETH integration, but also Bitfinity and Redstone and the work they're doing. Panel, I really appreciate your time, and let's get back at it because there's a lot of work for us to do. Thank you, everyone, for your time.